There is something not right with these kids. Like, these kids are, they're pretty fucked. And hear me out. The reason why I say that is because Emma's like, you know what, Ray, you could just, break your leg and all that. Join me, Ray. And I'm like, Emma, do you know what you're fucking saying? Like, I mean, I understand the plan. I mean, it makes perfect sense. But a kid her age is like, Ray, just, all you need to do is break a bone, break your leg and shit like me, and join me, Ray. And I'm like, whoa, Emma, do you not realize how much pain you are in, okay? Like, you were under a lot of pain. You were hurting really bad. And then you just like, join me, Ray. And like, the smile, it's innocent, but it's to the point to where it's like, there is something really wrong with these kids. Like, they're really fucked up, because to be able to even say something like that is just crazy. I'm like, holy shit, these kids are just insane for their age. So, let's talk about the situation of this chapter. So, as we know, Norman, he wants to sacrifice himself. He thinks he needs to die because if he doesn't die, he's gonna fuck everyone else over, which makes a lot of sense. I've already covered this in the last chapter review, that it's understandable why Ray wants to, sacrifice himself, because if he didn't, it would cause it to where security would get increased, it would be hard to escape the farm, and that would mean that overall, it's fucking everyone else that's still there. And the way this, chapter's going, it seems like we're choosing the option to where, which is unexpected, Ray is going to try to escape, but he's still going to be on the farm, which that is the crazy thing about this, because that's something I didn't even think about, which just props to the writer for that, because I honestly didn't think something like that would happen. But apparently Norman, he's gonna, remove his tracker. It's gonna look like he escaped off the farm, but in reality, he's still gonna be on the farm. So that would mean that he has free reign to do anything he wants on the farm, while, they think he's escaped. And so while they're beefing up security, they're increasing things, Ray could be doing some crazy shit, making it to where the plans could be successful in a couple of months. Like, let's throw out some hypotheticals here, okay? Let's say this does go according to plan. Let's say that, Ray does break his arm or his leg and he joins, Emma into, the sickbed, where, he's just needs to recover for a couple months. And because of this, he won't be shipped off, or Emma won't be shipped off at all. They're completely fine, because, they're healing, and obviously the demons don't want products that are kind of damaged or not perfect condition. So, obviously, everything is fine. Everything works out on that end, and Norman somehow he manages to get rid of the tracker, and he's not caught, okay? Let's just say that's what happens. Well, if this does happen, that would mean that Norman can do anything he wants. Like, he can make ladders, he can make weapons, he can honestly, even if he has the time and the tools and the mindset to do it, if he notices that security is beefed up over the wall or something, he might be able to even dig, like, some form of tunnel underneath the wall to get outside of the farm. That's also a possibility, because you gotta remember, if he has free reign, that would mean that he has all the time, all day long, to do anything he wants. Obviously, Emma and Ray have to feed him, but overall, though, Norman has free reign to do anything he wants. So if he really wants to, he could slowly start digging some form of hole, or figure out a way to make it to where it's easier to get off the farm when it's finally time to escape, and that's kind of what he could be doing. So if this all goes according to plan, this is actually a whole lot better, because it allows Norman to take the time to figure out how to escape, because right now they're just throwing together a plan that's kind of like, okay, we can escape with this, with a rope and shit, and go get over the wall, but that's not going to be completely easy. There's going to be definitely more to it, because once you get over the wall, whole new set of problems, because going through the wilderness to, demons out there, all sorts of shit, we don't really know everything out there. They could be on an entirely fucking new planet. We have no idea. We really don't, because the mangaka could go anywhere they want with this series right now. And so the point is that Norman could easily dig a tunnel, dig it far enough in 2 months' time, because 2 months is a lot of time, and if you have a lot of time and effort, you're willing to do it, you could get a lot of shit done in 2 months, especially if you happen to dig a hole. And I could see Norman doing something like this, but the main question is, how would he hide it? I mean, unless if there is more security added, the only way he couldn't get away with this is the security was constantly watching around in, the premise. So, like, they were going around between the forest and shit, making sure there's nothing going on. But if they think Norman is gone, obviously they're going to assume that maybe, like Emma and Ray, since, they can't move at all, they're hurt, they'll think nothing's really going on. They're not really trying to escape. They just wanted to save Norman in the first place. Now, regardless, though, let's just say that Norman does do this, okay? Let's not even talk about the whole, or, making, escape plans and stuff like that. Let's say a Norman, he does remove the tracker, everything goes according to plan. This is gonna fuck over Isabel. We know for a fact that's going to fuck her over, because we do know she has a clean record. She has a record to produce products that are absolutely perfect. Nothing can go wrong. According to the grandma, nothing can go wrong. Nothing should fuck over Isabel. Like, nothing can. Nothing should be allowed to. And so, if something goes wrong, that is not good. That is a stain on Isabel's record, and most likely, if that happens, she's going to be in the red. Most likely either up to being killed or something else is going to happen. So I could see if Norman does escape and he's still on the farm, it's going to cause a lot of problems for her. Most likely they're going to add security, most likely they're going to replace her, something else is going to happen, but overall, that's not going to be good. It's automatically going against Isabel's plans and what she wants, and also the demons, so it's making them look bad like they can't produce on this farm. Now, to go even further, one step further than that, we also do know if security is added, it's not going to be a drastic change, because they did make some very solid points in this chapter that, yes, we know security will be increased, but it won't be to the point to where it's noticeable. What I'm getting at is they obviously can't add chains all over the place or barbed wire fences all over the trees and stuff, because that would be too obvious and it would stress out the kids. And as we know, which many of us have already speculated since the first and second chapter, we already know that this is pretty much an organic farm. It's like how we, have organic food, organic milk, all sorts of things in the world. You do it organically, like how you let cows, just, free roam, and they just, have as much grass as they want to eat instead of forcing them into a small pen. That's kind of how, these children are. They are being organically raised, and it's finally officially confirmed and confronted in this chapter that they cannot feel like they are in prison. They cannot feel like they don't have freedom. All this, atmosphere they have, this entire environment that they've been in for a long time, it's there because they're being raised in a way that's organic in the best possible product that they can absolutely be. And so they're taking a lot of risks just to make sure that these children are top-of-the-line products for the demons can enjoy them. And even further than that, we do know that because of this, they will not make any changes to that freedom. And in all reality, the only thing they really can change is security, for instance, extra maids and helpers, or probably outside the wall. When you go outside the wall, there might be people just roaming around, just scoping out outside the wall to make sure no one escapes. That's the only thing I could see changed when it comes to the security. But overall, when it comes to the wall size, to most likely, how the house is done and all that, nothing is probably going to get changed at all. And automatically, they can't throw in demons either, because if there's demons inside the walls, children are going to be fucking freaking out. They're going to be like, what the hell is this? They're going to be shaking. They're going to be like, this doesn't make any sense. They're going to run for their life. So they can't add demons in here. Even if demons want the product, they cannot be there, because that's why they hire humans in the first place, for they can raise these children. They don't want to raise them in fear. They want to raise them in love and compassion, for they can eventually be top-of-the-line products for when they are finally killed. So overall, I feel like that's kind of what's going to happen. Judging by what they said, I kind of agree with that. And it makes a lot of sense, judging by, what they're trying to do right now. So, besides this, let's just say right now, I really love that cover page of this chapter. That was a brilliant cover page, and I think it perfectly summarizes organically raised food, or organically raised products, over, things that are just forced and confined into a cell or, a cage. It's a perfect way to see that. And it's also a good analogy for caged, things that are caged, not free, and things that, are free to just go off and do whatever they want. When you see the cover picture and you see, Norman, you see birds and all that, it says, even birds, even though they're destined to fly, even they can forget to fly when they're not free or they're caged. And I'm like, oh shit, that makes a lot of sense. And in this way, it goes along with what the chapter's meaning was. If the children were caged, they knew that they didn't have freedom. Now they know they're locked up. But overall, though, it's this fake, environment to where they think they're free. If they didn't have that, obviously, they wouldn't be an organic product. And that cover goes up perfectly along with what this chapter is about, but also it goes along with Norman and what is going on with him right now inside of his mind. Now, hear me out, and this is what I think it means. So as we know, Norman, he wants to sacrifice himself. And when you think about a traditional human being, you think of someone wanting to survive. That's in our instincts as a person. As our instincts as a species, we always want to survive. We want our survival. That's what we want. That's the big thing about humanity as a species, or any living species, really. They want survival, they want to live. And when you're at that point to where your life is in danger, you're about to be killed off, your survival instincts are just going to kick in, and you're going to want to fucking live. You're going to want to live. But if you have been imprisoned all your life, and like you've gone against your instincts all your life, obviously you will forget to do these things. They probably will not kick in. That's kind of what it's trying to say here, how a bird's instincts are to fly, but if they're caged and they can never fly, obviously they'll forget to fly, and when, they're, at this moment when they're maybe fallen and they could fly to get, save themselves, they won't fly because they've completely forgotten, because they went against their instincts for so long that they just hit the ground and die. So in this case, what was going on with that cover page was reflecting on what was going on with Norman. He was forgetting his very survival instincts to continue to live on. And normal, natural human beings, we want to live. We don't want to die. And Norman was willing to just throw away this natural thing that all humans have just to save his friends, which is very noble. Don't get me wrong. I respect Norman for wanting to save Ray and Emma. I love that about his character. However, he's going against what truly makes him human. And so with them wanting to save him and him realizing that, wanting to live, that makes me happy. That makes me happy to see that he is very human. He's not someone that is just switching off his humanity just to sacrifice himself and just be someone that's like, okay, I'm willing to be a martyr for everyone else. He does care about his life. He doesn't want to die, but he still cares about all his friends. That is what I want to see. And so technically, we got a lot of character development for Norman in this chapter. So well done, the writer of this series. So that's about it. I think the chapter is relatively simple. The artwork is pretty damn good, and it constantly, just continues to get better and better by the chapter. So yeah, let me know your thoughts in the comments below. You'll have a wonderful day or night wherever you live. Please be safe. Chibi out.